Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage and the Princess. This time I'm trying to fix some of the rust on the Princess. There is actually not a lot, as far as I know at least, because maybe you can see it. This car got inner wheel arches, which is most likely a big reason why it's still alive. I don't know if they came from stock with inner liners, but this one has them. That's a big saver in my country because you don't get all that salt and water and crap into the hard to reach points. On the other hand, it could be completely rusty back there without me really knowing. So the first thing today is to take out this. But what I'm going to try to fix today is this area, because maybe you can see it. It is rusted away right here, and it's actually on top of a patch that is already made. So I'm going to try to fix that, and actually I'm going a bit higher up because this is the original wheel arch right here. It is a patch. And I think I'm going to make the patch all the way up to the original. I haven't really decided. What I have decided to do is to make a lot of small pieces that I weld together into a repair panel. Because this shape is pretty complex and I'm not going to be able to bend it out of one piece of metal. So I'm going to make a couple and weld them together and then weld them in, hopefully. And this is the area that I need to fix. So I need to make a patch right here, but as you can see, it has already been repaired. And I'm not really, it's not that it's bad, you could save it with some filler. But I think I'm gonna go all the way up to this point where the old original wheel arch is still good, and then make a repair down, like something like this. But I'm gonna do it in a lot of small pieces and then weld them together, and then hopefully it will work. But first thing is to remove this inner wheel liner, because that could be hiding some more rust. And also I need to find out when this becomes okay metal, because I'm actually a bit scared about this area, because it could look like filler, so maybe the patch needs to be bigger, but we'll see about that. Now please cross your fingers with me, because it could become quite complicated very quickly. Okay, not bad. Okay, that was maybe an understatement, because this being a car from the British Leyland from the 1970s and also being on the road until 3 years ago, this looks amazing, completely amazing. It's a really nice surprise to see it so well protected in here. Yeah, there's a bit of surface rust there, no biggie. And I do have an area of concern right there, but it's not a very complicated place. And I have a little bit right there. A lot of stuff has been repaired down here. I think it looks, maybe it's not the best looking repair, but it is working just fine. So I'm not gonna touch that. What I'm going to find out is this area in here, because I need some metal to at least weld to. What I'm going to do now is to mask up, and then I'm gonna use my grinder to find out where the rod stops, and then I can start the patch making. I'm gonna spare you the grinding things right now, so I will take you back in a second when I have found good, clean and healthy metal, hopefully. So now I made sure that I have some clean metal out there that I can weld onto in the end. We had to go all the way out here for something. That's okay. Now I'm going to start the patch making process. This is just a pretty rough measurement. of what I need, at least. And what I hope to use this piece of metal for is the inner edge right here. It's going to be this. And then the outer edge right here is going to be this. The one that curves in afterwards is going to be welded on later on, because I cannot bend it in those shapes with the tools that I have. So I'm going to use this to make this one that goes in and into there, hopefully. First thing I want to do is to curve this piece to follow this. And then I'm going to stretch this until I get the curve that matches the car. I'm just going to go ahead and check 1,000,000 times until I get that shape right. Now I need to start shrinking it right here to follow that. So I think this is all right. This shape is not completely the right because it's also a repair, so I am winging it a little bit, but this seems okay. But now I want this to turn inwards to follow this curvature. That means using the shrinker on this side. Now it's beginning to be a little bit complicated because this ledge goes down and then turns all the way around and goes in. So the ledge right here is this one you can see in there. Now the shape is like this. The repair piece, roughly in shape, it's not even near perfect. The repair is not the right shape either, not at all. And also this is not my, I don't have that much experience in this kind of work, to be honest. But I am going to now cut away the old repair, because then I hope to be able to maybe tack weld this in place and then make the last couple of pieces down here. Maybe take it all off and fully weld it and then back on, but I'd like to cut this away now to see if it fits. So it's been cut away. I have kept the old piece and tried to not distort it too much because this is an important template, even though it's really not precise, because maybe you can see it. It consists of a lot of patches. This one is going to fit something like this. And what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna weld it on up here and down here, and then form it into place a bit more, trim down this edge that I have drawn, and then cut more away over here so I can make a strip that connects everything back together. I think that's the way to go, but not today because it's late. I'm gonna continue on this tomorrow. So it's the day after, and I have just test fitted the panel I made yesterday with some wire grips just to see how it looks, and I think it's pretty okay. There still some stuff that needs to be done. But what I would like to do now is to cut this into the same size as this, because, and it might be a bad decision, but I have decided to go that way. I'm gonna cut it right there, and then I'm gonna make the other panel that goes up and then weld it together on the line which could end up being a bad idea because it could be hard to make the line crisp. I'm just measuring with a caliper the flat side of the wheel arch. Then I'm going to transfer it to this one. So now I'm going to cut this line with an angle grinder and then take it back. So now I trimmed off the edge that I think looked best. And now I'm actually going to weld it down here. And up here you can see the gap is quite big, but that's because I have to weld it down here first and then drag it to the area up here that I have trimmed off. Then I need to do some bit of trimming in here and then start to make the panels that connects everything together. It is going to be a little bit difficult, I think, but hopefully it will be okay. And we need to drag it up there. Like that. And then this point is actually the right point, so I'm going to weld that as well. And then start to cut up and make the rest of the repairs. And then begins the patchwork. Someone with more experience than me would most likely be able to make the entire panel out of one piece, and I just cannot do that. So I'm gonna now start to make a lot of small pieces and weld it all back together. What I'm going to do to make the pieces is use a piece of paper, and with a dirty finger I can trace the outline of a piece of metal, then turn it into a piece of metal. It's difficult to make these small ones. What I'm going to do now is to weld it to this ledge over here. And as you can maybe see, it sticks out and over this edge. This is okay for now because I'm going to grind that down and then weld it back on later. Right now, I just want to follow this piece of metal. So I still need to fully weld them. I really have to go slow because I don't want to distort it. I'm putting heat into the metal and it will warp. But as you can see, this edge goes over this edge. What I'm going to do now is to grind it down flush and then weld it to the other edge. So now it's flush. The best thing is to have a bit of room between the two things you're welding, because if you don't do that, they will push the parts apart when I weld them. I don't have that now, but the material is really thin now. So I think by welding this edge, it will just burn through the thin part and weld it together. Let's try. So I think you get the point. I'm just going to continue doing this, and hopefully we'll end up with something that looks like a front wing of a princess. And this is the end result. I hope it picks up on the camera. Got a bit of glare from the light, I can see. But as you can see, it's not perfect. And it's not supposed to be. Remember, it's Seaside Garage, so it's not restorations. It's just revivals. But I think it's pretty good, actually. I would like to be one of those guys like Fitzy, who can make a repair like this, that you can't even see the welds. And yeah, maybe I could grind them more down, but I'm afraid to thin out the material way too much. So yeah, especially down here, it didn't go that well. I ended up welding this a bit too quickly. Therefore, it shrank inwards. That doesn't really matter because a bit of filler will fix that. But all in all, I think this will look just fine when I have used some filler and some paint. And remember, it needs to fit together with the rest of the car and all the repairs. But that repair just needed to be done for the MOT at least. And now it's good enough for that. Oh, there, I need to do some cleaning up. There's a dead porcupine in here. I think it turned out all right after all. So one repair down. I need to do a bit of repair in the inner wheel, just where the brake line resides. I was actually hoping to fix the brakes today, but I need to fix that before doing that. So this will be all for now. I don't think I will be showing much more rust repairs on this car because it is really minor. This was the only big thing that needed to be fixed before the MOT, I think. So it is really great to have that done. I'm not finished though. I need to paint it, of course. I also need to add a bit more than I like filler onto there, and then a coat of that green paint. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support I get on Patreon. It means a lot. And see you in the next one.